Hi, I'm Ed. I guess it's time for formal introduction. I got into fish because I like plants, and I started growing aquatic plants. Thought I should put something moving in the tanks. I study plants. It's my field of research. I like them. I know a bit about them. I do all dirt bottom tanks. I pump CO2. I do highlight. The whole 9 yards, and this is my fish room. It's got most of my larger tanks. I have at least 6 tanks in the house. This is my garage. Yeah, here they are. I've got the 40-gallon breeder. It's planted, as you can see. Occupants are 4 bumblebee gobies. I've got, I don't know, maybe a dozen fancy zebradanios and some common zebradanios, 3 galaxy rasboras or celestial pearldanios, whatever you want to call them, a couple ember tetras, Odessa barbs, 6 of them, 3 cherry barbs, a very large true Siamese algae eater, I think that's about it. My oldest tank, looking kind of dirty, haven't maintained it in a bit, but it's going. Fish are all happy. This is my new tank, which is why I've been ignoring that old one. It's full of tannins, just recently filled and planted. 100-gallon tank. It's got its own little overflow and all that stuff. Got a hood for it behind me. Not sure if I want to use it. Right now it's running around 300 watts of LEDs that I can control via this box down here. You know, like I say, lots of tannins, so kind of hard to see the occupants, but I have 20 very small young white clouds, 5 leucistic or golden white clouds, a little bit larger, 2 mystery gudgeons, 6 dwarf cories, or pygmy cories I should say, a very large tadpole, and 10 celestial pearldanias. I plan on adding quite a list of different fish. Some of the smaller rainbows, some thread fins, dwarf neons, perhaps a bismani or 2, a couple autos. I want to put some scarlet batis in there, perhaps an apisto or pear. This area has been lightly planted with dwarf hairgrass, which will hopefully grow in. Again, it's really hard to see all the plants and everything with the high tannins, which are slowly being flushed. I've planted this section up pretty heavily with a variety of different crypts. I've got some small swords in the back, which were kindly donated to me. Weren't looking too great, but hopefully they'll grow in. Some high grow, a few different random ferns. Quite a few large tiger lotus, which in my 40-gallon I also have quite a few of. This tank connected to the other, so also high in tannins right now. Also lit with LEDs. Planted, but lowly planted. This is going to be a killifish. So as I was saying, this is going to be a killifish grow out tank. It's slightly planted. I want to say around 55 gallons. Real long. Slightly over 10 gallons per cube. It's currently just got a pair of young Nothobranchus Feroci, and a few shrimp. I have room to expand. Got this little tank down here, as well as this tank over here. Don't currently have occupants, but they're most likely just going to be an isolation tank. In here, also have the 55-gallon cold water California Biotope, doing its seasonal thing. The plants are somewhat reclining. The glare is really terrible on this tank right now with this not very great camera, but I've got a pair of green sunfish in there and about a dozen breeding mosquito fish. There's one of the sunfish. Another refuge tank, a bunch of plants. Small 3-gallon Pico. This is where I like to sit and watch my tank. It's a bit of a mess right now. Plumbing is hard plumbing. This is where I excavate water. Put this in here, out the garage door for water changes. Plumbed into the back. Plumbed into this guy's overflow. And on the back, I have not hooked up my 40-gallon yet, as I'm waiting to flush tannins, but I have a spot for that, and a DIY overflow, self-priming, my CO2 tank and regulator with 6 different needle valves, so I can pump to each tank separately. Here's a 40-gallon sump that they're all connected to. I've got an 800-watt heater in there that just flicked on, in combination with a separate 200-watt heater. Just one mostly to keep the temperature stable, and the other to quickly, for quick adjustments, essentially. For water changes, I shut off this valve down here, fill up the 40-gallon to the top, flush it out, fill it up again, and just flush it out the garage door. So this is my messy garage fish room. You know, about half of my tanks, but most of the larger ones. And it's all slowly coming together. And let me know if you have any questions.